only a few days left until Thanksgiving, so today I'm gonna share my top 10 easiest Thanksgiving desserts. Now, you guys loved my Thanksgiving side dishes, so I thought it'd be fun to make a roundup of my top 10 desserts. Now, before you eat me alive, please note they are not all pies. And I like different desserts too on Thanksgiving. So there is a large array of desserts that work perfectly for Thanksgiving. And if you've only had pies for Thanksgiving, it's kind of fun to try something new. All right, if you're ready, let's just jump into the recipes. The first recipe I'm making today is called apple slab pie. I really love this recipe because it serves a lot of people and bakes on a cookie sheet.
First, you're gonna start with some pre-made pie crust. You can make homemade,
but we're all about easy.
We are about easy. So we're gonna do the pre-made. It comes with 2 pie crusts, and that's what we wanna use. We're gonna use all of that. So we took it out of the refrigerator. You're gonna open it very carefully. I let it sit for about 20 minutes before I started rolling it out, because if it's really cold, it's gonna break apart.
Yeah.
So add a little flour, mix this around. Now, while I am rolling this out, do you wanna make the spice
filling? Yes. So we have sliced up 4 Gala apples and 4 Granny Smith apples. So we have 1 cup of sugar, and I'm just gonna add all the spices and things to the sugar, and then we're gonna add it to the apples. So the first thing I'm gonna add is 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon to our sugar, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. And kind of give it a little mix. Okay, so to this sugar and spice mixture, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch.
Now that sounds weird, but I'm telling you, it tastes.
It's gonna make all the flavors stick to the apples. Exactly. So that's what we want.
Exactly.
And then just 3 tablespoons of flour. So as we're mixing this around, we also want to add just some lemon juice to the apples just to keep them more fresh. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice just over the apples. And then we are going to add in our mixture to the apples.
Now, before you add that in, I'm just gonna jump over here really fast. So I rolled out one of the pie crusts, and I'm just gonna put it on half of the cookie sheet. So we're gonna roll out the other one and put it on the other half. Okay, you keep mixing, just letting them know.
Okay, so I'm just gonna add this in to our apples now that it's all mixed together, and just stir it together. It's already smelling like Thanksgiving in here. Okay, so we'll just keep turning and mixing this till all the apples are coated with the mixture.
We should have 2 people in the kitchen all the time.
I know.
It just needs to happen.
For every Thanksgiving.
I guess for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Each other. Okay, I'm gonna just carefully lift this up and put it on the other half. Now, it's okay if they overlap. Doesn't matter. We are gonna just kind of just press them down. Really good. You can even get your roller. Will it fit? Yes, it will.
Nice.
Just roll it together.
So now that she's fully rolled these out, and these are all the apples are mixed together, we're just gonna pour it right on top. Okay, so we'll just mix this around, make it an even layer.
Nice. While you're doing that, I'm gonna start folding in the crust a little bit.
Okay.
So just kind of just rolling the edges in. It doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, it's on a cookie sheet, so
yeah.
It's gonna be good enough.
And you're gonna be cutting it up.
Exactly. I love how you can just like make it work. If you do have extra, I mean, you could cut it off so it's even all around, but to be honest, people won't even know because you are gonna be cutting it up into squares.
Yeah.
How's it looking?
Good.
Good. So we're gonna bake this at 425 degrees. We have the oven preheated, and it's gonna cook for about 30 to 35 minutes, just until the apples, you know, are soft, good apple pie apples. So we pulled it out of the oven, we let it cool. We actually stuck it in the fridge for a little bit to let it really cool.
Yeah.
Then we did a little bit of glaze on top, but we wanna show you how you make the glaze.
This is really easy. It's 2 ingredients. You're gonna add 1 cup of powdered sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of milk. You can use any milk. And then you're just gonna whisk it together. It may take a little second. And that's literally it. You just whisk it together, drizzle it over your apple pie. Bon appetit.
The second recipe is called turkey cupcakes. This is perfect for kids who don't necessarily love pie.
The first thing you're gonna do, again, we're all about easy. You can make your own homemade chocolate frosting, but you're cooking for Thanksgiving. So you just buy the canned and it's still gonna taste good. So you can just frost your chocolate cupcakes. I guess you could do any flavor, but.
Right. Okay.
Then once it's frosted, we have brown sprinkles. You could use like an orange sprinkle or a white sprinkle, but are turkeys brown? I feel like turkeys are kind of brown.
They're brown today. That's fine. They're actually kind of white, but it's fine. Okay. They're like the feathers.
Yeah.
Feathers on the turkey. I love this. Okay. Now we're gonna make the turkey feathers. So just kind of carefully stick your candy corns into your turkeys.
And then you gotta add your eyes to your turkey. So you can find these. These are just like on most baking aisles by the sprinkles.
Yep.
So we'll press those in. And then you add your nose. So we do it with the white tip up. So press the yellow into your cupcake. And then the most important part is the wattle.
We did have to research that before making it.
So just a little red dangly thing.
Yep. Perfect. I like it a lot.
So these would be cute to put on a little plate on display by their food for Thanksgiving. The perfect Thanksgiving treat for kids.
Number 3 is our simple pumpkin pie. Now, if you've always been intimidated making pie, this is the recipe to make.
So I'm making my pumpkin pie filling, and I've got a large glass bowl, and the first ingredient is one 15-ounce can of pure pumpkin puree. The next ingredient is a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Now I'm adding 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, 2 large eggs, as well as 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now for the spices, I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm just gonna mix this together until everything is well combined and the filling is smooth. Now that our filling is done, we can pour it into our pie crust. I'm just using a 9-inch store-bought pie crust, but if you have a homemade pie crust that you love, it would work great for this recipe. And then I just put the pie on a large baking sheet, and I've cut a few strips of foil that I'm loosely covering the crust with. I don't want my crust to be burned, and so I put this on in the beginning to kind of cover it so it cooks a little slower than the rest of the pie, and then I'll take it off towards the end so the crust gets nice and golden. But you could put it on halfway through if you feel like your crust is too dark. Then you put it in the oven at 425 degrees for about 15 minutes. Then reduce the oven temperature to 350 and bake for 35 to 40 more minutes until it's done. Serve with a little whipped cream and enjoy.
Number 4 is our Reese's fudge. Yes, I know fudge usually is around Christmas, but I love fudge for Thanksgiving.
So you're gonna take a 9x9 square pan, line it with foil, and then spray it with cooking spray. Do 16 on the bottom of the pan. Next, you're gonna take 3 cups of chocolate chips and then just dump them into a microwave-safe bowl. Now you could do this on the stovetop also, but I love using the microwave. Then you're gonna take 1 can of sweetened condensed milk and just pour it in over your chocolate chips. Then I like to microwave in 30-second increments and then stir in between each 30 seconds. Then stick it right back in the microwave. Now once everything is melted, it's starting to get a little bit thick. This is how we like it. So now it's time to put it onto your Reese's. We're making the rest of the fudge. Go ahead and pour it on very gently. The Reese's might come up a little bit as you're spreading, so just try and hold them down as you spread. Now it's time for the topping, and of course, it needs to be Reese's. So I started out with 22 Reese's. I put 16 on the bottom, and the rest I am just crumbling up and I'm pressing down into the fudge. So when it cools and hardens, the Reese's will be stuck in there. Now I let this sit in the fridge for about an hour and a half, and it is hardened and ready to go. So I carefully pull away my foil, and then you can cut right into it. Now I love this fudge because you don't need a candy thermometer, and it actually keeps its shape pretty well. I also love that you can see the Reese's on the bottom and on the top. Now whenever I make this fudge, it is gone instantly.
Number 5, something fun to have on the table is our Rolo pretzel bites.
Now I would suggest getting smaller pretzels than I have here because the Rolo did not want to stay in the middle, so smaller pretzels is a must, but they still worked out. So you're gonna put a Rolo on each pretzel. Then you're gonna cook it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 3 minutes. The Rolos are going to be melty, and all you have to do is put a pecan on top and you are done.
Number 6, of course you need pumpkin at Thanksgiving, so this is our pumpkin sheet cake. It serves quite a bit.
let's get going. Let's do our pumpkin first, if that's okay.
Okay.
I just like to put it on the bottom. It just makes my life, a little bit easier.
Okay, so the whole can.
Yep, 15 ounces.
And this is pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie filling.
Yes.
Okay.
And because a Corona pumpkin is a little hard to find, so
And fall time.
right? So if you want pumpkin right now, go grab it while it's still available. Okay, then we're just gonna add in 4 eggs. There we go. And then I'll let you add the others while I mix.
Okay. So then we're going is this 2 cups of sugar?
2 cups, yep.
Yep.
Now it sounds like a lot, but you got a lot of pumpkin in there, so
Yeah.
you need some
And
sweetness.
it's for a whole cake.
Yes.
So that's good. And then oil, we've just got 1 cup of vegetable oil that we'll dump in there.
Now you can put this in like your stand mixer, or, you know, but we're just doing it this way by hand because sometimes it's more fun that way.
Right. A little workout while you are getting ready.
Go.
So now we've got to add some seasonings to it. We are going to do 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. So it seems like a lot, but remember this is a big cake. And then we're also going to do 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. So if you don't have pumpkin pie spice, you can add in a little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of cloves. If you Google how to make your own pumpkin pie spice, it's super easy.
Yes.
Okay, and then we've got to add in some baking powder, some baking soda. So let's see, baking powder, I've got 2 teaspoons.
Nice.
And then baking soda, we've got 1 teaspoon. And then just a little bit of salt, 1 teaspoon of salt.
Nice. Okay, mix that in. And then our last one is the flour. I'll bounce it to you.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna mix.
it's just 2 cups of flour, which means this is gonna be a really moist cake.
Nice. Which is what I like.
Yeah.
Almost like fudgy, kind
Yeah.
of. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
I love like the dense, I don't know, it's just so good.
Yes. All right, mixing this in.
You almost need a bigger bowl.
I probably do. Sorry, I'm getting flour all over you.
Totally fine.
Oop.
And the floor.
myself, and the floor, and everything. Just gotta get those sides. There we go.
That's how you know it's good.
Maybe it's a sign I should use a mixer. It's fine. Okay. Okay,
go. Break.
looking
Your
good.
turn. Okay.
Your turn. Okay.
Muscles.
Why you're using your muscles? I am going to spray the pan with a nonstick cooking spray. You can butter it and flour it, but this is the lazy way, and I just love using pan.
And then dump it in there.
Dump that. I'll grab a spoon to help
Thank
get
you.
the edges.
You got that okay?
Yeah. We'll lick out the rest of that later.
We'll do that off camera.
Yes. Okay. Then I'm just gonna spread this around.
It's not a very thick layer.
No, but it will
It
cook
will
up.
cook up.
Yeah,
Yep, it
yeah.
gets nice and puffy.
Just gonna try and even it before I start spreading. How's it looking?
Perfect.
Feeling okay?
Yep, you're ready to bake.
Yep, I feel good about it. Okay, now that is all spread and even, we're gonna cook it at 350 degrees for about, 20, 25 minutes?
Yep, 25 to 30 minutes.
Okay, perfect, 25 to 30. All right, so came out of the oven, we let it cool for 15, 20 minutes. You don't want it really, really hot because your frosting will melt. So you want it to cool pretty much all the way.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna make our delicious cream cheese frosting that will go on top, which this is what makes the recipe amazing.
You're a frosting
I
girl.
also love frosting.
Yes, she
Might be
does.
my favorite food. Yep. But okay, let's make some frosting.
All right, so we're gonna start with a cup of butter or 2 sticks of butter. They're at least room temperature, maybe a little bit softer. So start with that.
Okay, and you have a whole block or 8 ounces of cream cheese. It is softened a little bit in there.
Okay.
There we go. Start mixing that a little bit. Yummy. Now you don't want it melted because you want a little bit thicker frosting. So as you are mixing that, I'm gonna add in your vanilla. So like what? 1 teaspoon of vanilla?
2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons of vanilla. I love vanilla. Okay. And then as you're mixing that, we'll just slowly add in powdered sugar. So it's about 3 cups. We'll just slowly add it. Okay, it is really thick. So we're just gonna add just a little bit of milk just to thin it out just a little bit. So I don't know, like 1/4 cup or so?
Yeah, 2 tablespoons, and then just kind of play with it, see what you need. Kristen, do you want a beater?
Yeah, you want me to lick that off for you? When I cook it myself, I leave a ton of frosting on the beaters so I can lick it.
Our mom always used to let us lick the beaters.
I know, it was my favorite. There we go.
Gotta hit the frosting off.
All right, as she goes and washes those, I'm gonna start putting the frosting on. Looks good, Kate. Oh man. It's all Kristen can do to not lick this right now. Lick it. No, I'm fine. Okay, we are done with this one.
Number 7 is our M&M fudge. This only takes a few ingredients and it doesn't take long to put together.
Now you're gonna be on low, medium heat. We're gonna add 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips and then just 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk right on top. Now, as this starts to melt, you want to make sure that you keep stirring it because you don't want anything to burn onto the bottom of the stovetop. Now, once it's all melted, you're going to go ahead and add 3/4 cup of those little mini baking M&Ms and just mix them just until it's combined, no more than that. Then you're going to take a 9x9 pan, make sure it's covered with foil, spray some nonstick cooking spray on it, then go ahead and spread your fudge all along the bottom of the pan. Then you're gonna take the rest of your M&Ms and gently put them on top. Then you're gonna press down so as the fudge hardens, the M&Ms will stay in the fudge. Now I like to keep it in the fridge for about an hour or two, let it stiffen up, and then go ahead and remove the foil. Gently cut into it, and then you're going to have perfect fudge pieces. I like these because they stay in their shape. They're not really gooey. They are perfect every time. You don't have to use a candy thermometer. It really is the easiest fudge recipe.
Number 8, I'm making with my sisters. This is the caramel marshmallow Rice Krispies.
Okay, so I've got a little saucepan and I'm gonna add some butter. It's pretty warm. You want this to be on low. Caramels are pretty finicky. And you don't want them to burn, so keep it on low heat. Then I'm gonna add a whole can of sweetened condensed milk. Then just mix it all together. You're gonna want to keep an eye on this because it will start to burn quickly.
We are almost there. We're just waiting for the last few caramels to melt and then we're good to go.
It took how many minutes or so do you think it took to?
Probably like 6 or 7 minutes until it was all melted together.
Okay.
We kept it on a pretty low heat when it
Nice.
burned.
Looks good. All right, should we skewer the marshmallows?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, time to skewer. So we have our little skewers, our little marshmallows. Laura, you gonna help me?
Yes.
Let's do this. All right, ladies, let's see it done.
Okay,
All right,
go ahead, Mel.
we're going full dunk.
Dip your Milo and then into just the plain Rice Krispies.
Nope. The more the merrier. Just gonna let it rest.
Yep. Now, when you serve these, you're gonna take the skewer out, but right now we are using the skewer because it makes it a lot easier to dip. This is like the tip that Disneyland uses, right? I see that big skewers.
Number 9 is one of my favorite ones. It's our no-bake caramel pecan turtle pumpkin pie. Now you can be really fancy and make your own graham cracker crust, but this is a game changer.
Now on the bottom of our graham cracker crust, we're gonna add about a 1/3 cup of caramel. Can you see that? Yeah. And we're actually just going to pour it all over, pretty much until it is covered. Then I kind of just spread it around a little bit. You guys, that's gonna be amazing. Ooh, I'm excited. Next, I'm gonna take a 1/2 cup of pecans. Now it says chopped. These are still some bigger chunks because I like it that way on my turtle pie. So you're just gonna spread these into your caramel or caramel or whatever you wanna call it. Don't judge me, just know that's what it is. It still tastes the same. Next, we're gonna add 2 packages of vanilla pudding mix. So these are 3.4 ounces, so you're gonna add 2 of these. So it'll be just over like 6.8 ounces. Then you're gonna add 1 cup of milk to the pudding. Then just go ahead, mix this all together. It's gonna be thick, that's how we want it. Then you're just gonna add 1 cup of pumpkin puree, and we're just gonna mix this all together. Okay, this is pretty mixed. Now we're just gonna add about 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and a half teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm just gonna add some flavor to this. Mix it all together. Then you're just gonna slowly put this on. Now the caramel is really loose and soft, so you kind of want to do it in chunks so it will be easier to spread. All right, then we're gonna put about 1.5 cups or so of Cool Whip on, or whipped cream, whatever you like. I love Cool Whip, that's my favorite thing. You're just gonna gently spread this all over the top. All right, so then we're just gonna put this little lid on, then we're gonna refrigerate it for 2 hours. We want everything to just combine together. All right, let's cut into this. Oh man, I'm so excited. Oh, that thing is thick. Oh, can you see that? That looks so good. So now we're just gonna add a little more pecans on top. If you like those, no pressure. If you don't have to add the little extras. And then I like to add just a little bit more caramel.
And the last one, number 10, is our Lunch Lady peanut butter bars.
So you're gonna add 1 cup of butter to a microwave safe bowl, and then we're just gonna throw this into the microwave until it's softened. So when it's all nice and softened, just dump it into your mixing bowl. Then you just need 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. Make sure you press that down. Next, you're gonna crack 2 eggs and also put it right in. On top of that, add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And go ahead and mix that together.
Looking good. So this recipe calls for 2.5 cups of peanut butter. Sometimes it's hard to put it into a measuring cup, so I kind of just eyeball. So right now we're just doing 1 cup. We're gonna save the 1.5 cups for later.
So next we're adding 2 cups of oats. And on top of that, 2 cups of flour. And last, you're gonna add just 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And mix it all together.
Next, you're gonna take a cookie sheet and spray it with cooking spray.
And I'm just gonna take the dough and I like to put it right in the middle.
Okay, the trick when you're making peanut butter bars is that you don't want to push the dough all the way to the sides. You want to leave a good inch on each side because it will expand and grow. And so then you won't have the crazy crust, it will all be even. Okay, they're all ready. We're gonna bake them at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. Okay, so it just came out of the oven. Now you're gonna add just little tablespoons all over the peanut butter bars while they're still really hot. Okay, we're gonna let it sit just like this for about 2 minutes or so. Let the peanut butter melt, then we're gonna spread it all around.
Okay, we're all done here. We're gonna set it aside and make the frosting.
So this frosting recipe is my mom's homemade frosting. So it's not exactly like the peanut butter bars you had growing up, but I'm telling you, it makes it even better using this recipe.
So we're gonna start by adding 1/2 cup of butter just right into the bowl. Now this is really softened. Then we're gonna add just about 1/4 cup of milk. On top of that, we're gonna add 3 cups of powdered sugar. Perfect. On top of that, 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 4 tablespoons of cocoa. Then beat it all together. And just spread it carefully out.